Might help if we were added to the stream, right? Yo, what's good? What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad. It's your boy Dave. We back. You just saw us earlier, maybe a few hours ago. We got some dinner. We ate, I think. Dave, you ate, right?
You ate around
Dave
4
did not
o'clock.
eat.
No,
Dave
I ate
did
around
not
4
eat.
o'clock.
Okay,
No,
Dave
I
ate.
ate around 4 o'clock, man. I had an appointment with my weight loss doctor today. So, we had a long talk about different strategies and things of that sort, so I can get my weight back down into the 220. So, yeah, so I'm here hydrating, so I'm good. What's up, guys?
Yeah, we back. So we back again. And a lot to unpack. Tonight is going to be a special night. We had one of these come to Jesus moments earlier in the season, and we're going to do it again. We are going to open up the stream to allow you guys to vent. This is a therapy session. So stay tuned. We're only going to be allowing 10 in at a time. That's a limitation to StreamYard. So we can only allow 10 in at a time. So we're going to allow you guys to go ahead and come in. Not right now, but we're going to talk. We got a few things to unpack. There's some good news. We did find some good news. So we're going to talk about some good news, and then we're going to talk about some bad news and let you guys vent. But before we get into that, Dave, how was your Thanksgiving? How did all that go? I don't know if we didn't get a chance to talk about that. How was everything?
Thanksgiving was good, man. I mean, it was quiet. I never cook. I always go to somebody else's house. So that streak continues. But overall it was pretty good. No complaints. Did a lot of video games, did some shopping, didn't spend too much money. But overall, pretty good weekend.
I didn't spend that much money either, man. Surprisingly, the stores weren't open, so it's the Black Friday deal has been going on since November started, pretty much. So there's no such thing as Black Friday anymore. I went out. I usually go out in Fayetteville. I went back home to Fayetteville as usual for Thanksgiving, and I always go out shopping and hit the mall, hit Cross Creek up, go by the Best Buy, the Target, and all that good stuff. And nobody was out, man. Even Fayetteville has one Best Buy, right? And that shit is usually packed. Like they usually have like cars parked damn near in the street because it's so packed, and there was available parking spots. So it's been weak. Everybody's at the house. It's just different, man. The deals have been going on, so it's all good, man. I was chilling. Got a couple things. Got a couple pieces of clothes for my daughters, but outside of that, I ain't really do much. Didn't do much.
I see you moved the PS5, sir.
I did move I cracked it open. I got a few reps in. My daughter took it over for an hour or so this afternoon playing Avengers. Dope game, by the way. Avengers is dope. It's a fun game, so she's been playing that. I played Madden for a hot second, but that's really it. I didn't really get a chance to really jump in. I'll probably wait till this weekend to really dive in and start.
Yeah, man, maybe you can start your franchise with the Panthers, and then maybe you can just reorganize the entire thing.
Nah, you know what, Dave? I looked at it. I said, yo, I'm good at this. Let me do this. So I started one off, and I was like, shit, I'm in trouble, Dave. Like, there's a lot of shit to do. You can't just go out and immediately fix the offensive line like you want to. So bro, it's difficult. It ain't just easy. It ain't easy.
Don't worry, man. I've seen, one thing I love about Madden nowadays, because of the fact they don't have any competition, we're kind of lazy with it. So there's always like a montage of like Madden bugs, like things that have no business happening in the middle of these games. It is the most hilarious shit to watch.
Yeah. Shout out to the Champ 15. It says won't be able to get on because I lost my voice, but I will vent in spirit. Keep pausing. Shout out to the Champ. I think that's Noli. Is that Noli?
That's Noli. There's the thing about Noli. He was screaming a lot during the game, probably.
No, he probably didn't even watch the game. he usually don't even watch the game like that. But all right, let's jump into the stuff, man. So again, a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and you guys will have the opportunity in about 30 minutes to jump on. But we got a couple housekeeping notes to take care of. And so here we go. So here we are, Dave. This is the good news. We didn't get a chance to discuss this. We have we have more than two. They left Jared Allen off this list, but Jared Allen did spend his the last year of his career with the Carolina Panthers. The year we went to the Super Bowl, he was here. So we consider him as a Panther. It's very similar to Reggie White. Reggie White, it was a Panther too. People forget about that, but he is a Hall of Famer. But these guys are real. If you want to be technical, or if you want to be a buck, Steve Smith, Sam Mills are real Hall of Famers for the Panthers. All right. So Steve Smith is up, first ballot. Sam Mills has come around a couple times. But Dave, I got to get your thoughts. We've talked about this a couple times, and don't let Philly Brown listen to this, because we had Philly Brown listen to this one time, and Dave said that Steve Smith was not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And
didn't say
Philly Brown had to come on the show and shut Dave down because
I didn't say the man wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's not what I said. I said there's a concern about the media voting for him to be a first ballot, because especially at that position. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. And I will say, man, I am intrigued by, like, cause this is for the semifinalists, right? So there's still another cut.
There's still another
for
cut.
the finalists, and then they select the final whatever.
Yeah.
But it gets interesting here because there's about 6 wide receivers, I believe, that made it to the semifinals.
None of them have better numbers than Steve Smith.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you there. So, you know, it's going to get interesting because the problem is that it's a log jam at the position, and that's what makes it hard. It's a log jam, dude. So we'll see, because I think they only picked 12 finalists out of everybody. So there ain't going to be 6 wide receivers. I think, was it Torrey Holt was on that list? Andre Johnson was on that list.
I have the full list.
Yeah. And as for Sam Mills, it'll be interesting if he can get to the final side, because there's a decent chunk of linebackers too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there is. I'll get you the full list. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Here is the list.
All right, here we go. The running backs, man. Eddie George, Fred Taylor, Ricky Waters. Yeah, we talked about Ricky Waters earlier today. For who, for what? That alone ain't going to get his ass there.
We did bring up Ricky Waters.
Yeah. Funny. For who, for what? Nah, he ain't going to make it. He ain't going to make it. Fred Taylor deserves to go, man. I think him not playing in a major market team for the bulk of his career. Like, he played for the Patriots near the end of his career, but he probably played for the Jags. I think Fred Taylor should be in the discussion. Eddie George is going to be interesting as well. You know, maybe the leverage of him getting some media attention with the Tennessee State coaching might help him out a bit. We'll see. But wide receivers, bro, it gets interesting, man. Like,
it doesn't, though.
It does, but it doesn't, because it's such a log jam at the position. And I said, if Steve Smith's going to get in, he's got to get in earlier than later, because the longer it takes, the more wide receivers are going to start being eligible. But like Anquan Bolton, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Steve Smith Sr., Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne.
Steve is better than all those dudes.
I agree that Steve Smith
has
is better
numbers.
Than all them dudes. He's got better numbers than all of them. I think the only thing he might not have is maybe the touchdowns for a couple of them, but other like catches and yards, I think he has all these. I believe he has all these guys in that range. Yep. Hines Ward is interesting because he's got the ring. Sometimes they leverage with the ring. Reggie Wayne has one too. Torrey Holt has one too. And Torrey's been waiting a couple years now. So that'll be interesting. Tony Boselli, he's probably going to get in for offensive line. Maybe Willie Anderson too. But Boselli played for Jacksonville. I think it was I believe it was the first pick for Jacksonville. Bro.
Yeah, I think he was like an OG. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So OG, I think
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I think that's gonna help him get through it. So our alarm brother Larry asked whether or not Ronnie Barber was a Hall of Famer, and I said, well, somebody isn't gonna. Everybody on the Bucs defense can't make the Hall of Fame, and Lynch just got there, so I don't know if we're gonna. I think Ronnie's gonna have to wait a bit. Eric Allen's interesting. Darren Woodson's interesting. And then DeMarcus Ware's first ballot. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, he's first ballot. Patrick Willis is interesting.
Yeah, this is where, because I saw somebody in the chat asking, was Luke a Hall of Famer? And I think he is, but this is one to watch.
He's not.
Keep an eye on Patrick Willis, because they're not the same. I think I think Luke is better, but just watch this situation, because
if he gets in first ballot, that's a no-brainer.
Patrick was a beast too.
Yeah, if Patrick gets in first ballot, because Patrick had a short career too, he retired early as well. So if Patrick Willis gets in first ballot, then that tells me that that means Luke's gonna definitely be first ballot. I think Luke's a first ballot Hall of Famer anyway.
I think so.
But I think, some people get critical about the length of time you played in the league. And Patrick Willis had shortened his career, and so did Luke.
So that's what I'm saying. This is something to watch.
That's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, something to watch. Jared Allen, Robert Mathis, Richard Seymour, Jared Allen. Yeah, this is tough. I think this
Allen should be first. Allen should get in.
I think Allen should get in too.
I think didn't he retire with like the third? He was second in the third all time in sacks or something like that. If I remember correctly.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but he does count as a Panther too.
Yeah. Richard Seymour and Vince Wilfork is going to be interesting. Because they're Patriots, they tend to get slighted. Wilfork should get in. But we'll see.
Yep, and then Devin Hester. I think Devin Hester gets in.
This isn't his first time, is it?
I don't know. I think it's his first go.
He ain't getting in first time. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I think he's the best. The best.
They're only gonna let 6 in. 6 is probably the cap.
I know Steve got one of them joints. Steve got the media connect, dog. That's important.
I know.
I think it almost negates the rings, B.
It probably does. Because a lot of like Terrell Davis had to wait a while because he had a short career too. And I think the comparison they put with him was Gale Sayers, because Gale Sayers is in with a short career. So Steve Smith is probably the greatest under 6 foot wide receiver of all time. By far. And I don't think it's close. So
Keith says Jared is 12th right now.
He's 12th. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough for Hall of Fame. 100 years in the NFL.
Well, I tell you what, whenever it does happen, I think Steve is going to eventually get in at some point in the near future, whether it's one, or he doesn't wait 1 or 2 years or 3 years. I think it's going to happen eventually. And so I tell y'all this, no matter when it happens, your boy is going to Canton. And that goes for Pepper. We're about to have a nice little list of dudes started, because this franchise is a young franchise, so we're starting to get to that point to where we're going to start to have Hall of Famers. And whenever Steve goes, whenever Pep goes, whenever Luke goes, whenever Cam eventually goes, in my opinion, I think I will most likely be in attendance for those for sure. It's gonna be fun to watch. I can't wait to see our guys get in there, because again, we don't have true Hall of Famers just yet. We got Reggie, a couple others that may have played for the Panthers, but technically, they're not really true Panthers like Steve Smith and Pep and Sam would be. So,
if Devin Hester takes a spot, because special teamers, it's hard to get in for special teamers, man.
It's the best ever. You the best at the position, bro. You got to get in there.
Steve Tasker. The best. I don't know how long Steve Tasker's been waiting too, because a lot of people speak a lot about Steve Tasker as a special teamers too. So, but that was before our time. I think he played in the 70s or 80s, I believe.
Yep.
So, he's a commentator for CBS. I believe the last time I seen him, he was a commentator for CBS. So,
I don't think Charles Johnson makes it.
Nah, Big Money ain't making it.
With all due respect, we love CJ, but he ain't got the. He ain't got the some positions are hard to get in on, man. Like, you got to be like dominant and super dynamic. That's hard, bro. TD is tough.
On the cusp.
He's
not
like
first ballot.
He's not first ballot. He would have to wait. But TD is close, considering what he went through. If you count the ACL tears and all that, bro, you gotta consider he's the first to ever do that. Like, that's homerism talking too. So
dude. It was a science miracle, right? Because there's players that's not in the Hall of Fame right now because they didn't have the science that TD had to come back and play. One guy to think about is Sterling Sharp. Like we talk about Steve Smith being a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's only 3 wide receivers that's ever led the league in yards, touchdowns, and catches in the season, getting the Triple Crown. That's Sterling Sharp, Jerry Rice, and Steve Smith Sr. Those are the only 3.
Other 2 are Hall of Famers too. So
no, Sterling Sharp is not. Sterling Sharp
is
not
Sterling,
a Hall of Famer.
Sterling, excuse me, Sterling. I thought you said
Shannon is.
My bad.
Sterling is
Shannon.
not.
My fault. My fault.
Sterling had a devastating injury that he couldn't come back from. He was on pace.
Yeah,
because he was Brett Favre's guy in Green Bay.
For sure. But yeah, Jordan Gross. No, I don't think he's gonna get in. I think he should be eligible. I don't think he. I think
he could get in.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I know, like guys like Smith, Pep. Those are no brainers to me. I think when you talk about Hall of Famers, those are true Hall of Famers, no brainers. You could argue Gross, you can argue TD, but I think those are fringe dudes that you have to make an argument for. Steve, Pep are Hall of Famers for sure. But at some point, hopefully Samuels gets in.
At some point, Jordan Gross was one of the best left tackles in the NFL. Typically, those guys get in.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Not first ballot, but they'll get in.
All right, let's move on from the Hall of Fame talk. Again, we already talked about this earlier. Christian McCaffrey's out for the season. If you want to hear us really dive into it, go back and listen to the 1.5 of the hour and 15-minute video we did earlier today. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey's done for the season again. And Dave, do you have a final thought? And you guys are welcome to share your opinions once we open up the stream. But Dave, any final thoughts on Christian McCaffrey?
I mean, we got to tag him as injury prone at this point, right? And I don't think the lack of McCaffrey is an excuse for what happens to Rhule after this year. His injuries are part of the league. Now, granted, this coaching staff's only got to see Christian McCaffrey for 10 games, but it's obvious that the fact that you only got to see the man for 10 games and you've played like at this point 28 of them. You played 28 games and you played 18 games without the man, and you're about to play 5 more without him. You would think you would know how to play without him, like scheme and plan and all that without the guy. So
man.
I got to do some research about whether Chuba or Amir Abdullah is the handcuff for fantasy purposes. I got to sit down and think this through. It might be a situation where it's going to be split again.
It's going to be Amir. He'll get the ball.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Amir, but I don't know. Who knows?
He's the most Christian McCaffrey-like dude we have on the roster, so I think he gets the ball.
That makes too much sense. That makes too much sense, sir. Like you're making too much sense.
You're
like
right.
I agree with what you're saying, but you're making too much sense. You don't know what the hell Rhule's gonna do, bro.
Yeah, common sense ain't so common with this staff. You're right.
No.
You're absolutely right. Like putting Brady Christensen in the left tackle. That's kind of common too, but
yeah. If it was common sense, I would tell you Amir Abdullah immediately is the guy you need to go get. But I question it. I think it's gonna be a situation when you go after both, and maybe if you get both, great, and if you don't, then because you probably gonna, if you want to keep it a buck, you're only gonna probably get 2 good games out of the final 4 weeks of the fantasy season out of them, because Atlanta. No, you might not even get that when you sit down and think about it, because Atlanta doesn't have a good rush defense like that. Buffalo has a damn good rush defense. Tampa got a damn good rush defense, and the Saints got a damn good rush defense. So you really ain't going to be able to utilize the opportunities of this situation anyway, because historically, even Christian McCaffrey struggled against Tampa Bay. So I don't know if you want to. I think, if you're going to do it, you're going to probably end up doing it for Atlanta. But we'll get into that tomorrow for the fantasy show.
All right. So again, Christian McCaffrey's done. Again.
By the way,
I mean, it's just,
appreciate that,
what it is. Yeah, appreciate that, Grandizer. But yeah, man, it is what it is. We kind of beat that dead horse, and you guys will beat it even further when you come on. Pause. So we'll move on. All right. So I see it in the chat, guys. Trust me, I'm on it, yo. I'll be on it. I got y'all. Okay. So Lincoln Riley has moved to USC. And that's the University of Southern California. Over in California, and LSU has just hired my man Brad Kelly out of from Notre Dame.
Brian
Brian
Kelly.
Kelly out of Notre Dame, which is interesting. That's an interesting hire. And I don't know if I like that hire for LSU. I don't know, but
let me explain something to you about LSU, man. The last three coaches at LSU have won national championships. Let's talk about LSU for a second. And out of those three coaches that won national championships, there's only one that you can remember that you could think that he's a really hell of a good coach, and that's Nick Saban.
Yeah,
Saban. And then who's the other guy? What was the guy after Saban? Les Miles. And then you had Ed Orgeron. So Brian Kelly wants to win a national championship. You got to do it. You got to do it without. You're gonna have to do it at LSU because every coach has done it. Last three coaches have pulled it off, and I think Brian Kelly's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, well, I think
I mean Brian Kelly. Yeah, pretty good coach. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just don't. LSU is legit. I just don't know if I like Kelly for LSU. I just think the talent is going to be there. The Bayou, they always get their guys. They're a hotbed, and we'll talk about hotbeds a little bit later. But yeah, they always get their guys. They're asking me if the March on Mint is back on. We might have to talk about it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I just don't know that I like this hire for LSU. I think LSU, there were better options available. But at the same time, you have to get going. Well, you can't wait with college football hires. It's recruiting. There's things that go on on the back end of college football the way you can't wait on a guy like Joe Brady or something like that. You can't wait. You have to make these moves quick to get the recruiting going, to make sure you keep the recruits that you have committed already. There's some massaging that has to go on. Pause. But so you have to figure this out. And so, I mean, I get them for making the move quick, but I don't know if that was the right hire for me personally. But moving on to that leaves open two pretty major jobs, right? Oklahoma, Notre Dame are vacant jobs right now. And we can talk about our coaching staff. You know, Matt Rhule, there's been whispers and talk about Joe Brady. You talk about, I know Temple is open too, but they're not a major program. I'm talking about major programs, Oklahoma and Notre Dame. There's been whispers about, Matt Rhule having college interest. There's been Joe Brady. There's been things going on. Go ahead, Dave.
Prior to Penn State extending their current coach, they sent feeders to see if Rhule was interested in coming to Penn State. So they're calling him. They're calling him.
Of course they were. So, so that being said, there's a great week that our coaches happen to be available for interviews for, because Dave, I don't know if you know this, but we are on a bye week. So it's going to be interesting because the timing, and I'm just, I'm connecting dots. I am not the media. I don't have any connections. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, and it equals 4. Our coaches are on a bye week. These jobs are available. I'm sure that the phone will be ringing for our coaches to say, hey, you want to interview for these jobs? Because like I just said, timing is of the essence when it comes to hiring your coach for colleges. You have that's why all these coaching jobs are being announced now. Like, that's why Penn State announced their extension. That's why USC picked their guy. That's why LSU announced it, because you have to get the recruiting going. It's important. So now that the timing is lining up, you may see something come out that says, hey, Joe Brady or Matt Rhule interview for such and such job. These schools got bags. Okay, don't get it twisted. I know.
You saw what you call it got?
Who?
Lincoln Riley. Let me tell you, it's not official, but supposedly it's 10-year, $110 million.
Yeah.
They paid off. He has 2 houses. He has 2 houses in Oklahoma. They paid them off. They bought him a $6 million house in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Dog.
These coach, and then don't forget, and this is what you think about this too. These colleges got buyouts too, right? So I think Ed Ogeron had a $17 million buyout. Mullen from Florida have a 12. They don't care. These schools got bags. And you think this little money, sometimes the college money is better than the NFL money. These NFL coaches ain't getting paid that much, bro. I hate to break it to y'all. This college bag is different, bro.
Mm-hmm.
These boosters,
the boosters, bro.
These boosters got bags, B. Bags on bags on bags. So you can say what you want. You know, I know some of these college dudes got some of these college coaches that come up to the NFL, they got dreams of coaching in the NFL. But F your dreams, B. When that money talk, you never know what can happen. So I'm just speaking. I don't know anything. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm connecting.
I know everybody keeps saying this. Everybody keeps saying this OU job is such a premier job, but
it is. They got money, dog.
I have 3 letters for you, sir. SEC.
They don't care about that. They gonna get paid regardless.
But my point is,
some of these sorry ass ACC schools, they got boosters too.
That's true. Vanderbilt's been trash.
Vanderbilt been trash forever. They got bags, B. They ain't worried about that. They're gonna get a bag regardless. And if they suck, they'll just get bought out. It's a win-win. But all right, let's move on from this. We caught the L. Nobody cares. We were supposed to win. Hey, Dave, my bad, Dave. Hey, Dave, we were supposed to remember this. You remember this? We were supposed to
be 3-1. We should have been 3-1. 2-2, 3-1 out of this slate. We ended up 1-3.
It flipped. With 1-3.
And the funny thing is, we beat the best team. We beat the best team out of the 4 on this list.
We beat the best team out of the
shit, man. Then again, maybe not, because the Patriots might be better than the Cardinals at this point.
Yeah. So we caught the L. Go ahead.
I know we brought it up earlier, but hey, Panther Nation, the chat, y'all ready to talk about Mac Jones? I will say, bro, the man looks good. He's looking good.
Yep. All right. So real quick, man, hit that subscribe button. Just kind of give me an update on subscriber goals. We are just under 1,500. I said that earlier, so hit that subscribe button. Go follow us on Twitter, too. We're a great follow. A lot of good stuff happens on Twitter. And help us get over it. You got an Instagram account. Go follow us at Panther Nation PC on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We appreciate that. All right. Real quick, we got to shout out our Patreon members, patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. I do got to give some shout outs to some new Patreon members. Okay, we got Penny. Shout out to Penny Claiborne. She's new. Carlton Davis. He's back. He's an old but new. He re-signed up again. So shout out to him to join the Patreon again. Maurice, you let me know that I forgot about you, dog. My bad. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Siegel Ad, appreciate you. Travis Wells, who was dropping all kind of super chats earlier today. He also put his money where his mouth is and joined Patreon as well. So he's double dipping. Okay. So shout out to Travis and shout out to Bruce, the all new free agents. We appreciate y'all. And shout out to the franchise player, Chris. He's not new. He signed up the last time, but shout out to you, bro. And shout out to Enjoy Graphics. We had an Instagram conversation. We're going to be talking. And then shout out to the MVPs. Shout out to Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton was the winner of our November. Hampton, excuse me. Kyle Hampton, was the winner of our November MVP giveaway. He won a signed Christian McCaffrey mini helmet. I know, but he won the signed Christian McCaffrey mini helmet, and that will be in the mail soon. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, that's all I got. Now, thank you for all our Patreon support. If you want to become a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Now, let's get into my bag, Dave. I've been waiting for this all day because we talked about this a little bit earlier, and some of y'all told me, and some of y'all continue to tell me. Year three is we got to be patient for year 3. I got news for y'all. A collegiate rebuild and an NFL rebuild are not equal. They are not the same. Why are they not the same, Dave? They're not the same because of this, right? When you take over a collegiate program, they have something called scholarships. You must honor those scholarships. You have to deal with other coaches' players. It takes time for you to get your roster the way that you want it, okay? It takes time for you to get your players. You have to let those scholarships expire. Sometimes those players do walk away. Sometimes they don't. You have to honor those scholarships, B. Okay? Recruiting. You have something called recruiting. You can go out. He's in Baylor, bro. He's in Texas. Hotbed of talent. Spoke about that earlier. Florida, hotbed of talent. Couple places, California. There's a couple places on the map where talent is just there. Baylor. Look at Baylor right now, Dave. Look at Baylor right now.
They're still flourishing, bro.
They still flourishing. Why is that? Because they can recruit wherever they want. They can recruit wherever they want. Get guys as a hotbed of talent, and you get those guys. You build them up. You build the program. You're good to go. All right. Now, couple things, Dave. I went back. I did some research. Okay, I did some research, and it's funny. We talk about the concept of getting the players right. You got to get your guys get your guys into the building. The funny thing is that I went back and did some research and looked at Baylor's program, right? And when he took over, the year after he took over, when he acquired when he took over the Baylor program, he had 60% of the previous team's roster, right? So we talk about when you take over NFL program, it equates, right? You have to take over somebody else's roster. Well, guess what, Dave? In year 2 of the Carolina Panthers rebuild, right now, Matt Rhule has 80% of his guys. 80% of this roster is his dudes.
He got them in here.
He got his guys here, bro. It took him 3 years to get to 80% at Baylor. He wasn't successful until year 3. Why? Because 80% he built his program over time. Okay? It takes time for you to build a program. It takes time for those scholarships to expire. Okay? It takes time for you to get your own guys. Once he got his own guys in the building and hit the 80% mark at year 3, he was successful. You have the NFL is built on parity, right? Mm-hmm. It's built for parity. If you cannot be successful, you're not successful for 2 reasons. You're not successful because your organization is shitty and you have bad leadership. That's how bad teams stay bad. Case in point, Look at the Cleveland Browns.
They were bad for a long time.
They were bad for a long time, Dave. What happened?
They had piss poor management, piss poor ownership, piss poor coaching. It was just piss poor across the board because the NFL was built for every team to be 8-8. And then you gotta find your pockets of where you can take advantage of it. So then you can be 9-7, 10-6, 11-5. Like you gotta find that edge somewhere. And if you can't find that edge, then you're gonna be mediocre as hell. And the Cleveland Browns historically kept making mistake after mistake after mistake across the board. Like it was just bad. And now they're back, but it took them so long to finally get proper management there for it to happen. So
bad.
And Cleveland still isn't perfect, by the way.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not perfect, but they have made a transition. They got the right guys in the building, and that's part of progressing, right? Your front office, your head coach has to be on the same page. What we've done here is the complete opposite. We have not done that. You had a GM hire the coach, then fire the GM that hired the coach, and then you bring in the GM. And it's all backwards. We did everything backwards. That's why when I talk about the blame, you could talk about Matt Rhule. You could talk about these guys, but the blame starts at the top. This organization is not built properly. It's not built properly. You did things backwards. You did things backwards here, bro. You did it backwards. You didn't do it right. And so just to go back again, just to recap, it took Matt Rhule 3 years to get his roster. And in 2019, when they had their best season, it was 86% of his guys. The roster was 86% his dudes. Now, in year 2 of the Panthers rebuild, it's 80% of his guys. That means you have the guys you picked. Now you have to coach them. You have to coach them at this point. That's where I have a problem. Because you have the guys you wanted. You went out and picked all the dudes you want. Now you got to coach them. And that's the problem. And so I went back and did some more research, Dave.
You had time today, huh?
I got time today, Dave. So I went back and look, Dave. It was 5 coaches hired in 2020. You want to talk about them? Matt Rhule being one of them. Mike McCarthy, Kevin Stefanski, Joe Judge, Ron Rivera.
Riverboat.
Those were the 5 coaches hired in 2020. Dave, take a wild guess. Who has the lowest win percentage?
Rhule.
Rhule. Matt Rhule has the lowest win percentage of
lower than Joe Judge.
Lower than Joe Judge, fam.
Well,
lower than Joe Judge, dog.
We had that discussion. We had that discussion earlier today, right? When I talked about what was the difference between Joe Judge and Brian Flores. What do they both have in common? Excuse me. And I said they're both Belichick disciples, and they both dominated Carolina this year.
I'm dead serious. I'm not joking.
No, I believe you. Oh, no, I believe you.
So Matt Rhule is 10-18. Although they had the same wins, Joe Judge is 10-17.
For now.
So they could even out.
He won on Sunday. Sunday.
The problem is that why are these two in the same discussion?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Joe Judge at least has NFL experience. Like, he was a special teams guy for New England. He's a special teams coach for New England. So at least, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of folks was like, what the hell is Joe Judge? But the things people forget that John Harbaugh was a special teams coach too before he got his and he is going to get fired.
Bingo.
Him and Gettleman's going to be out of here this year.
So you want to talk about why dudes get out? Like, fam, these two dudes should not be in the same discussion, bro. And they are. It's unacceptable.
Because the funny thing is, Rivera won the division with a losing record. And then Stefanski won like 10 games for a season, right?
Stefanski has the highest win percentage at 60%. He's won 60% of his games. He's 18-12 right now. Ron Rivera is next up at Mike McCarthy's next up at 13-14. Ron Rivera is next with 11-15. Joe Judge,
and McCarthy lost his quarterback. Last year to a devastating injury.
They're winning a lot of games this year too, though. So that they're kind of.
But I'm just putting that in there for you guys. You know. So Rivera's third. Joe Judge is fourth. And
Joe Judge is fourth, and Matt Rhule is last. I only compare you to your peers, dog.
But the thing
Kevin
is, Ron Rivera
is an offensive mind. Kevin Stefanski is an offensive mind. That's why we wanted him here. He was tops on my list. He was the coach I wanted.
I was against Rhule because I didn't want a college coach. That's why I was vehemently against Rhule. I was against him because I didn't want a college coach. I was cool with Stefanski. I was cool with Bieniemy. And as much as I didn't want Josh McDaniels, I would rather have him over Rhule. Because at least he's got NFL experience and he was an offensive guy. But, you know, I just had no interest in a college coach because you got to take the time to transition. But in the NFL, you don't always have the time to do that. And that's the dilemma.
So that's where we are, bro. And I wanted to make sure y'all understood. Though there's a lot of Matt Rhule supporters, and I get it. He's a likable guy, bro. He's a rah-rah dude. You know, he says some good things and he makes you want to believe. But what I'm seeing on the field and the philosophies that are put in place just do not make sense to me, bro. It does not equate, does not compute. Okay. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Like, and again, a likable dude. I don't want anybody to get fired, bro. I would never prey on any one man to lose a job. That's not who I'm at. At the end of the day, these dudes are human beings, bro. I would never want anybody to get fired. I don't want anybody to lose their jobs because again, these are human beings. That man got kids, he got a wife, and all that stuff. I would never say that, bro. I'm not that type of dude. But he not getting the job done here, bro. And I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You have 85%. The roster, Dave, I don't think the roster can get much better. The only thing you can do right now is improve this offensive line. You might can throw in, and I saw some people. I asked the question earlier, what are the position groups that are lacking right now? People said tight ends. Okay, you can live without a tight end. Middle linebacker room. I would agree with you there. The linebacker room isn't the greatest. But outside, if you put this roster amongst any of the other teams, like we have a better roster than the Falcons.
Yeah.
We have a better roster than a lot of teams. Why is it that we can't get W's and we are getting outcoached week to week to week? We are beating teams that are not very good. The W's that we have are against situations where a quarterback was out, top guys were out. We're just keeping it above, man.
Rhule outcoached another college coach. But although this other college coach actually being successful, right? Cliff Kingsbury, you know.
You got Derek, bro. You got to understand. The NFL is built for parity, bro. That's why the suckiest team picks first in the draft.
Yeah.
That it's built. That's
why the salary cap exists.
That's why the salary cap exists. Again, the league is built for you to succeed. If you suck, you have the best opportunities to get better. The reason why bad teams stay bad is because they make shitty moves.
And by the way, it's parity. Parity, but it's okay.
They make shitty moves and they do the wrong things. They fumble the bag. Good teams stay good because they have consistency in the organizations. They hire the right people. They pay the right people. And people want to come to a winner.
Yep.
Free agents go, they flock to those winners. They will take pay cuts
the Patriots
for good teams.
New England Patriots,
good teams stay good.
New England Patriots, other than this is the first year they actually spent a lot of money on free agents, but historically they never had to because they were so good. Like, you get to play with Tom Brady, you get to play with all these superstars, you get to play with get to play with the greatest coach of all time. So players are willing to take a pay cut to go play there if they want to win a championship. But it's just when you think about like teams like Pittsburgh and things of that sort. Pittsburgh been good for a long time, but they've had some down years. Their down years
are like 8-8, bro.
Well, no, Bill Cowher, he had some double-digit losing seasons.
Oh, if you going way back, okay,
yeah, but Mike Thomas never had a losing season, and some folks thought this was going to be the year, and it's not looking like it. You know what I'm saying? He got like a half-ass Ben Roethlisberger out there, and he still might end up going 8-8. But it's just, typically what the Steelers do when a coach has a losing season, they sign him to an extension. But we will never do no shit like that because most franchises don't do that. But Carolina's not the same. Carolina's not the only team like that either, Brandon. Like, there's other squads that players go to get the bag and then go from there.
Appreciate your super chat, Brandon. But yeah, man. So that's my college versus NFL rant, bro. Like, it's not they're not the same, bro.
Yo, I didn't realize he had a worse winning record than Joe Judge, bro.
Yes. Research, bro. Like, I'm telling, I don't just get up here. I don't just get up here and make shit up. Like, I'm not one of these.
I believe you.
No, I'm just saying. Let me just separate us from from other shows, right? I don't just get up here and say what's on my mind, right? Sometimes I do, but my opinion is backed by something. Like, I don't just come up here and say this sucks because of this. I don't say this dude is good because I have you'll know if it's my opinion, and I'll say this is my opinion. This is just my gut feeling. I'll say that, but I follow the trends. You can see what's going on. It's not hard to see if you dive into the numbers, bro. Like, I try to help y'all understand how my mind works and how this thing operates. I don't just say shit just to say shit. It's not the same. Like, NFL and college build, it ain't the same. The college coach typically does not work in it. This is why we were so against the hire initially, bro. It does not work, man. Yeah. But it is what it is. Dave, let me get through the rest of this, and
that's fine. I'm gonna open up this line.
Yeah. I think this is my last one. Again, this is for all you tankathon folks. Everybody want us to tank and get the highest draft pick. Right now, we will pick 11th, and I did run a mock today, and I was picking 11th. So shout out to Pro Football Network. Their mock draft is on point. All right. So shout out to Pro Football Network mock draft. We will be doing some mock drafts here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. You guys know if you're new here, welcome. We do a lot of mock drafts. We really dive into this, and it's super dope. So again, also if you're new here, hit that like button. We got 300 people watching. I don't know what the likes is. We need to get them up to at least 150. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you're new. All right. But right now, again, we will be picking 11th. And it's funny. Washington has a tiebreaker on us, but they also picking higher than us in the draft. But that's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, they're 4-6 is the win percentage because they got the bye, but that'll change. I mean, I got the game one here. They're losing to Seattle right now, so it'll get interesting if they lose again, right?
Who did I pick? I picked. I traded back to pick 28, and I picked up. I think the tackle out of Mississippi State, Cross.
Yeah, I think we're trading back, you guys. Yeah. I mean, I know we're going to have a long time to have the discussion about what we're going to do with that pick. But because this is the only pick we have in the first 3 rounds, we're definitely trading back. Like, I think that's a no-brainer. I think there's no way in hell we're going to stay at the pick we're at. If we're in the top 10, we're trading that pick out. We're going to try our best to trade that pick out. And I think, but the problem is I think a lot of teams know that we're going to try to trade it out, which is not going to help us with leverage. So we might not have a choice but to take a player. But if we decide to take a player, we ain't gonna.
We
our draft part is gonna be short.
Yeah, we have to trade back. We have no choice. We have no picks, no day 2 picks. So we don't have a 2nd round pick. We don't have a 3rd round pick. So we're in a situation that if you're one of those tank folks and you want us to lose all the rest of the games, we got to get as high a draft pick as possible so we can at least probably pick in the range of 4 to 6. That way we can trade back and probably still stay in the top 10. That's the ideal situation. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a mess, bro.
I ain't trying to tank, man. I mean, because my bigger beef more than anything else about tanking is that now you're gonna have the Jets get our high second round pick. You're gonna have the Jacksonville Jaguars get our high 3rd round pick. I'm not interested in that.
JD fan, we probably won't know. We probably won't know Christensen plays well because he probably won't get a chance to play left tackle. So again, that's just one of those things. We probably won't know. But yeah, I'm not for the tanking. I want to win every opportunity we can get. I'm not one of those dudes going to say, the organization is run shitty because we're not tanking. Like, what? I hate that. That is such a stupid.
But look at the team. But the thing that's dumb about it, look at the teams that are at the top of the draft. Look at all 4 of those teams. Look at them. You think Detroit's going to have hope? Like, you don't want to be in the top of the draft. You see Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville?
Bad teams staying bad, bro.
Bad teams are staying bad. But the crazy thing is, the Jets might have 2 top 5 picks if Seattle continues to keep being bad. Because nobody has Seattle being this bad, bro. So this is looking like the Jets is about to get a haul.
They did lose.
No, but nobody. But prior to the season, nobody has Seattle being this bad. Right. You know what I'm saying? They did lose Russ, and that changes everything because they traded the 1st round pick. So to get Jamal Adams.
Yep. All right. So let's Dave. I went ahead. The link for the StreamYard is posted in as the pinned comment. So if you want to jump in, we got about 45 minutes, so you guys can jump on and rant. It's this. The floor is open to y'all, man. Omar
Omar's
jumped in here quick. Omar, what's good, bro?
What's going on, fellas?
What up, man? How you feeling, bro?
As my avatar, man, it's been 3 years of the same thing.
Yo, that's funny. That is funny.
And so it's not surprising at all. Another year, another injury to a key player. I agree with Dave when it comes to Rhule. I think he needs to be gone. The on the field product is horrible. Plus the front office product is horrible as well. He has to eat that Sam Darnold deal, and so I feel like he has to go for that.
The problem is that the only caveat I have about him leaving is the fact that if you let him go, then the new head coach is gonna have to deal with that Sam Darnold situation because the man's gonna be on the roster. I mean, $19 million, you ain't gonna take that hit without that man being on the roster. Thanks. So if Rhule does have a third year, I mean, I think he deserves
you could go get a lemon and keep him around for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Nobody got that joke. It's all right. It's all right. You can finance a lemon, but anyway, my bad.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Don't give me.
Jason, what's good, bro?
Shout out to Unnecessary Bluntness. All right,
how we doing, fellas?
I can still hear you guys
though. Yeah. So I put it out there already. Nolan and I had talked about this privately for weeks. I'm not on the fire Rhule bandwagon, and it's not for me even about Rhule. It's about the organization, and it's about the fact that, like y'all have said, bad teams stay bad. Go look at that draft board. Detroit fired their coach last year. Fired a coach that had winning seasons, that went to the playoffs. Fired them so they could take that step forward. For Matt Patricia, a Belichick guy, right? Belichick guy got fired for Dan Campbell. They ain't won a game yet. Jets fired Adam Gase. Before that, they fired what's the black dude? Can't even think of his name right now. And now they look like crap too. Jags stay firing their coaches. So this thought process, we just fire Rhule, we go get Eric B. Nah, fam. Because he's not gonna want to come here. We're not gonna get quality coach candidates at this point. You fire Rhule. Like the top coaching candidates are going to look at this Carolina job, see uncertainty at quarterback, and see an impatient owner. No thanks. I'm not signing up for that if I'm a head coaching candidate. You only get one crack at the apple as a head coach. Maybe if you're lucky, two. Maybe. Signing up to come back, and no offense to Cam. And I love Cam. I'm a Cam guy. I rock his jersey to the game twice before we even signed Darnold. But I'm not going to put my coaching career on the line for 32-year-old Cam Newton and Sam Darnold and a bad offensive line with uncertainty in the front office. That would be idiotic if you're a head coaching candidate and you have options.
So what are you suggesting? Are you suggesting that we keep Matt Rhule?
Yep.
For the sake of keeping him? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yes, it's for the sake of stability. I think he does enter the year.
That's not always stable though, fam. That's not always a good thing.
I think he enters the year. Listen, if you give a guy a 7-year contract, I think just out of respect, you can't fire a man after 2 years, especially in the second year.
Steve Wilkes after 1 year, and look at how well they're doing.
Facts. The Cardinals, they fired Steve Wilkes after 1 year, and they turned it around pretty quickly here.
Before they turned it around, Cliff Kingsbury was on that hot seat. This is if anything, this is their outlier year. So it could go left on them too, and then Cliff could be right back on the hot seat because coming into the year he was on the hot seat. So that's kind of my thing is next year I think we just go into the year with Rhule on the hot seat, needing to prove something, needing to get off to a fast start, and then if it looks like shit to start off, then you want to fire him, okay. But to give a guy a 7-year contract, let him coach 2 years and get rid of him doesn't make any sense. When majority of the blame to me is on Tep. That's to me is like to start the blame goes on Tep, not Rhule in the first place.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Jason, but I think you right the wrong. You fix it by getting rid of your coach and let your actual GM pick the fucking coach. Okay, that helps a lot. That helps the situation a lot.
So here's the thing that people aren't talking about with that is. Well, let me finish. This is my last point. I'll let you talk. Here's the thing that people aren't talking about with the whole like, okay, well, Fitterer will just go get his guy. Like, Fitterer made that deal for Henderson that I think is an awful deal. Awful. We gave our 3rd round pick for a dude that got some DMPs this year.
I think I disagree with that. I think I think it was a good move because you got a 1st round talent for a 3rd round pick. I think it was a great move to get Henderson because he got some DMPs. That's not the GM fault. That's coaching, bro.
But no, that's evaluation of talent.
This dude also DMP.
Why is he not outplaying?
He DMP Terrence Marshall, fam.
But why is he not outplaying dudes?
He's playing fine. Yo, did you watch the game yesterday?
No, he played fine this past week. He played well this past week. He's been struggling.
When is he gotten killed?
He's been struggling before that.
I can't get with that.
I was not a fan of that trade when we started it. When we had it. I'm gonna let old boy go because I've been talking for a minute.
Go ahead, JD.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I'm not on the Rhule bandwagon. You can personally feel like you should go after Brady and Snow when it comes to how the defense and how the offense looks on the field. Offense not putting up points, that's on Brady. If the defense ain't stopping opposing teams, part of that goes to Snow. But then when you look at the roster management, which is what Rhule is supposed to be doing as a head coach, he's not an X's and O's kind of guy. He's a roster manager, leader of men. You draft rookie O-linemen, and instead of playing them in the spot that they played in all throughout college, you say the left tackle you drafted, his future is at right tackle. But our Pro Bowl right tackle, where the hell is he going to go? The guard that you draft, you say we're trying to get him into game shape, but he was playing in the preseason. You're taking a guy who said he felt comfortable on the left side of the line and asking him to play right guard. Are you taking in any account what these players want to do, like putting them in a position to succeed? I have questions about that. So I've heard people say that Rhule could get another year if he fired Brady. But to my knowledge, Brady wasn't his hire. That was a Tepper hire.
That's speculation. Yeah.
Speculation. But even if he did decide to fire Brady, and let's say he comes back for a 3rd year and the offense is clicking, because when you're watching these games, if we're not just being outright beat, it's like a failure to adjust. Defensively, off of this pass, the game against the Dolphins, it seemed like the defense couldn't adjust. Last week against the Red Wolves, defense didn't seem like it could adjust and stop what the Red Wolves were running. Against the Dallas Cowboys.
Red Hawks. It's the Red Hawks. It's the Red Hawks.
Yo, this funny. I know, but it's funny. My bad. You caught me off guard with that. Continue. My fault. Continue.
But you watch these games and the games we're losing. It's like, I was watching a breakdown of that Dallas game, and we were running like a light nickel formation when we should have been in a base 4-3 to match up with the size that Dallas was putting out on the field. They were running 2 tight end sets, and you were asking a safety or a corner to play in the box.
Yeah.
That when I watched it, I was like, yo, that's more so on Snow than it is the players on the field. And then you just see it take fruition, like take on a whole new life as the season progresses. The defense holds the Eagles to 21 points, but the offense can't put up anything over 21. We can't manage more than 3 points against the New York Giants. We can't put up more than 6 points against the New England Patriots. Cam has a fairly decent game in his 6 days with the team against the Washington football team.
Nah, go ahead, keep it funky, man. The Red Wolves.
Yeah,
keep it going.
And it's like all this chaos. If you're a leader, first and foremost, if you're a coach, and I'm speaking from the position of a former player, an aspiring coach, I know that a coach's purpose is to put the players in a position to succeed. I have not seen that from Rhule. I am not seeing that from Brady. The best coach on that staff has been Snow, and even at times, Snow hasn't looked very good. And he ain't been helped when Brady ain't doing his job. And Rhule is taking guys that played a position throughout their entire 4-year, 3-year college career and saying, nah, you're going to go to the other side and do that. It ain't making sense.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That's all I had to say.
No, you spit facts, bro. You spit facts, and this is why I can't get with what Jay said was saying when you talk about keeping dude around for the sake of continuity. Like, I get it, bro. You don't want to be in that constant situation of hiring and firing coaches. I get it, but this man made a mistake. He made a mistake bringing a college coach up here, and it's not working. And it's been 2 years of, like JD was saying, putting dudes in the wrong places, not putting them in the places to succeed, and then not adjusting. We have been complaining about adjustments for 2 years, bro. You're getting out coached by real NFL coaches week to week to week. You might have a bright spot here or a bright spot there. When your game plan works, it looks fantastic. We'll dominate a team. But when it doesn't work, we get blown the hell out. And it's, fam, we have got to figure this out. I don't see any like, I keep going back to this, bro. The talent is here. Like, and I keep going back to this, bro. There's not every team can boast a top tier offensive line. We just went up against a team that had a worse offensive line than us, and they put up what's 33 minus 7. That 33 minus 7 points on us
26.
Because their special team scored
26
points. They have a worse offensive line than us, so we can sit up here and talk and complain about offensive line, but there are ways to get around it, which we are not doing. We are not adjusting to again, like JD said, putting our players in place to succeed, bro. We're not doing it. The Dolphins have a worse offensive line than us. Fact. It is a fact. But they went out there and against a very solid defensive line, they were successful. Why? Because of coaching.
The one thing I will say about Tepper, he's like, we can put a lot of this on him because he was the one that brought Rhule in and all that. But if we were going to say Tepper was the one that made the call to move on from Kim, he clearly ain't got no issue with coming forward and say, hey, I made a mistake. So there is a chance that Rhule could be facing these last couple games could be his last as a head coach in the NFL. I honestly, I think best case scenario would be Fit finds a head coach that looks at this team's roster and says, yeah, I can work with that. You can't bring in a guy who wants to gut the roster because then we're going to be 0-17, 1-6. If you can find a head coach that looks at this roster and sees the talent that it has, and he's like, yeah, I can work with that. Oh, you want to give Cam a 2-year deal? Bet. That gives me time to find a QB if Cam can't hold it down. We're talent-wise, we're in a good spot. It's on the people in the front office and at the head of the Panther organization to do the right thing. If it's just a simple case of Rhule needing to fire Brady, then go ahead and make that happen. But I haven't seen anything from a game management point, roster stamp of managing the roster, talent evaluation. I haven't seen any of that from Rhule that makes me think, he knows what the hell he's doing. Like he has a vision. The guys on the team share his vision, and they're all pulling in the same direction.
Here's my thing. People keep saying, "Oh, just let Fitterer hire the next guy, and we'll get an NFL guy." Like, and don't get me wrong, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense. But what have we seen from David Tepper that makes you think he would not have his fingerprints all over the next head coaching decision again?
Well, the first time was more about the fact that you had a GM. You pretty much had a lame duck GM sitting in there with Marty Herney. So of course he would have a say on who the next coach is going to be because he had a say of letting Ron Rivera go. He owned up to it. But at the same time, you should let the new GM be able to pick this coach. And it's funny, man,
you should. I agree with you, Dave. You should. I don't trust David Tepper to not get in his own way. The reason why we are where we are is because David Tepper fucked up the rebuild.
Fact.
Forget Matt Rhule, forget Joe Brady, forget Phil. It's because Tepper got impatient and he fucked it up. We had a good plan in place. We had a bridge quarterback. We were building the defense. We should have spent this year's draft capital to invest in the offensive line and build up the offense. But his ass got impatient, and we went out and we spent draft capital to go get a shitty-ass quarterback because he didn't want Teddy here anymore. That was David Tepper. And you expect me to think that same dude is going to fire a coach and then have no say in the next coach he hires? I don't think so. So that to me, I feel like for me, my hesitancy with firing Rhule is about stability, and it's about the fact that I do not trust David Tepper. I do not trust David Tepper.
You can't get rid of David Tepper. He's the owner, of course he's gonna have say in who the coach is. I think he's gonna. Of course, that's the case. But I think we're discounting the fact that Tepper can't learn from his mistakes. He did bring back Cam, right? So I think that he can learn from his mistakes.
When it was a day late and several dollars short,
I get that. I get that, bro. I get that.
He had other options. He could have tried PJ Walker's ass out there. He had other options, bro. He could have easily. He already picked up Matt Barkley. He could have tried PJ Walker's ass out there. He had other options.
I'm just hesitant to just do this whole new coach search and this and that. And to me, it's just like, let's just roll in next year. We know we got Sam coming back as a backup. Roll with Cam. See if we can trade back, investing off this line, and just see if these same issues continue. Then I would be all on board firing Rhule. If we take us, because to me, it kind of goes back to like this old, the old adage, like success is not linear. Like it has ups and downs, and like anybody that thinks it's linear, like we were just gonna boom. Like to me, like this whole thing about like Tepper telling people in the building that like this year was about making the playoffs. I don't know who the hell thought that was the goal this year, because that should not have been the goal this year. The goal this year should have been to build and compete more and to maybe add a couple more wins. But unrealistic expectations have just kind of set this whole thing awry.
I agree, but at the same time, you have the and here's my biggest gripe with this is I keep going back. My bad. I keep saying it, but we have the talent, bro. We have our team should not be at this at how we're playing. We shouldn't be playing like this, bro.
I agree.
We have talent. If you give this, if I can say, and this is what I hate doing, but I hate doing hypotheticals, bro. But I'm gonna do it for the sake of doing it. If you pick this roster up and you hand it to insert capable coach, what's the record for this team?
Hand this defense to Belichick, and what do you think the record is? Flip it. Go back to the start of the season. If we had competent quarterback play, what would our record be?
Shit.
I think that's so hard because again, it's all those variables. But
yeah, it's hypothetical. I know. I hate it.
No, but the thing is, the difference between like if you're mentioning like Bill Belichick as the coach, one thing that Bill would do that Matt Rhule hasn't even tried yet is that he would put the right players in the right situations so they can freaking succeed. You wouldn't put folks out of position.
That's strike
you wouldn't put folks out of he wouldn't put folks out of position. Like Christensen played the best he had the best left tackle day than any of our linemen all season a few weeks ago. And we out here saying, nah, we're gonna move him to guard. What? Nah, we're gonna go back to this other guy. What? No, dude, like, come on, man. Like, we be always talking about like how bad this line is, and we talk about what previous coaches have done. When we made it to the Super Bowl, most of them linemen came off the damn street. They came off the street because we were in cap hell because we overpaid running backs. That sounds familiar? Like, they came off the damn street. Andrew Norwell came off the damn street. And we found an all-pro. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, you got to adjust with what you have. You got to coach. He ain't coaching.
That's what real quick. Hold on, real quick. There was another super chat that asked about a fourth quarterback, and I missed it. It was up here for a while. I want to get these super chats real quick. Dave or anybody in the group, what about a third quarterback or a fourth quarterback? Excuse me.
Another quarterback? Hell no. No. Why? No, we can't do another quarterback, man.
I gotta go. I'm gonna peace out of here. But it's a good talk with y'all as always. It's always love. Keep pounding. Y'all be good. All right.
All right, Jason.
All
right. He said he must have went to Baylor because he talking about not moving off. Now I think he went to UNC. Matter of fact. So yeah. Anybody else want to jump in? You could click the link. That's the pinned comment. Click that link. Come join us. Get something off your chest, fam. This is therapy session right now. This is therapy. Get it off your chest, bro. We're here to listen. And if you got a good point, you got a good point. If you don't got a good point, I'm gonna let you know.
Alex been trying to.
I know he's been trying to join for a minute, but I don't know what's good with his connection. But yeah, man, jump in here if you got something to say, and we'll listen to you, bro. So we got 287 people. I'm sure some of y'all want to jump in and come holler at us. So you're welcome to come through. But yeah, it's frustrating, Dave. It's frustrating, man. What's the answer? Go ahead, Omar.
Do y'all think we can get 7 wins? Because I think 7 wins might keep Rhule here.
6 might keep Rhule here. 5 can keep his ass here too.
I think that we could potentially get to 7. I think it's most certainly a possibility. It depends on how this team reacts, right? How this team is going to respond out of the bye week. But I don't know, fam. I don't know if they got it in them. I just don't know. We don't adjust, bro. It's just hard.
Especially with the games coming up. Is because we started 3-0. So that would be 2 wins for the rest of the season over how many are still game span.
Well, my thing is, I think he should be gone if he goes 6 and below wins. I mean, I got a bet for it and everything, but it's going to be a matter of whether or not Tepper's pride is going to get in the way of making a brash decision after 2 years. You know, he's got to decide what he wants because he knows that the fan base is not going to be too happy if we bring him back. But then again, a lot of folks weren't happy. The Giants fan base wasn't happy they didn't fire Gettleman yet, so it didn't happen.
All right. Go ahead and jump in. If you got a comment, you're welcome just to jump in anytime.
Man, I'm just gonna say this, guys. I tried to believe in Matt Rhule. I kept my mouth shut. I was like, you know what? We're gonna give this man a chance. But he had a full damn year of not having Christian McCaffrey available. And this man still can't figure it out. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's football. And we sitting at home watching this, and we're seeing what's going on. And this man is at practice every day, and he's putting a game plan together, and he can't figure it out. It makes no damn sense. Man, I just bought a Cam jersey, and I'm about to return the damn thing.
No, don't return the Cam jersey, though. Don't do it. Don't return the Cam jersey. You got to keep the Cam. You got to keep.
No, because my gut feeling is telling me they're gonna try to lay this at the feet of Cam. That's how he's gonna get his out. That's how he's gonna get. He's gonna use Cam as a scapegoat. Well, we brought Cam in. He tried his best, but it just didn't work out, and we're going in a different direction. We're going back to Sam Darnold.
Yo, I think the fan base
backwards this man is.
The fan base. Yo, we already got podcasts saying they're smoking teams, bro.
The fan base. Matt Rhule is dumb. He's deaf, blind, and stupid. We got an offense who scored 4 times in the third quarter, not in a game, but the entire damn season. The entire season, we scored 4 times in the third quarter. The second half, we may as well not showed up, and we still would have scored as many points. This man is inept. Oh God, I can't deal with him anymore.
Just let it out, man. Just pause. Just let it out. This is therapy session, bro. Therapy session.
I cannot deal with this man anymore, man. I love my Panthers too much to sit here and watch them become the Detroit Lions, because that's where we're headed. We got entirely too much talent on this team from top to bottom that we should not be competing with the Buccaneers for the division at minimum. At minimum. You get a competent head coach in here, and we've lost what? Maybe 3 games with this schedule. I say 3 games we've lost legitimately. The rest of them we'd have won. He got out coached in every single game. You cannot name a game in the last 2 years that you can point and say Matt Rhule out coached that coach, and that's why we won. We won in spite of Matt Rhule, not because of Matt Rhule. And I don't see how any fan can pay their hard-earned money to go to Bank of America Stadium and watch their team at this point. Cam or no Cam, you just can't do it.
Yeah. All right.
For folks who hop in,
want to speak up?
All I want to say is we're heading into a very bad space as far as NFL teams goes. We're on the verge of 4 straight losing seasons. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
First
because
franchise history, first time.
Yeah, and when you look at it, those teams like that are like the Jaguars, the Lions, the Jets. We're not used to that. People around the national media don't want to say this, but this is culturally a winning culture here in Carolina. But our fans love the team. So David Tepper better do something, man. I mean, he has some very big decisions to make this offseason to get this thing rolling. Because like I said, I can't, like the previous caller said, I can't be spending money. I just can't. I work too hard to spend money on a bad product.
$200 for the NFL Sunday ticket. I'm gonna grab it.
Well, you got other teams you can look at. I mean, there's 31 other teams you can go watch.
But I love Carolina, man. I can't watch.
I'm talking about Justin because I'm like, look, it's just like when I'll tell you what, man, the greatest invention on earth for me is the Red Zone channel. If Carolina's out here now scoring touchdowns, I can just turn the Red Zone to feel a little bit better to see touchdowns.
Yeah, but
my team isn't the one doing it.
You do fantasy football. I don't. So, like, come Sundays, I'm watching the Panthers and nobody else.
That's me too.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get fan up to any other product. I just can't. I'm like, I can watch the Patriots or, the Ravens all day, but it doesn't excite me the same way. You know what I mean?
No, I dig it, man. I get excited in these Panthers games, but man,
I do watch the 49ers a little bit because Debo came from USC.
Facts.
So I'll try to find like former game calls that are in the boat.
Oh, so you like the Cox too?
Yeah. Squared up.
Man, I don't know why we don't treat DJ Moore like Curtis Samuel, man. Not Curtis Samuel, but Debo Samuel. It makes no sense.
Because he doesn't play like him.
Debo is very much what his name implies. When you say the name, the first image that pops into your mind, that's how Debo plays.
That's true.
DJ don't have the same kind of dog in him.
DJ don't got that dog in him.
I feel like he do though. Curtis had that dog in him.
DJ too finesse for it. Like Debo would drop his shoulder on the linebacker and try to run through there. He was like that in college.
I feel like you're right. I feel like DJ Moore would fumble half of the time too.
He said that's the reason why he didn't want to play running back.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty boy playing football. I looked at him get the big catch yesterday. He stood up and was like it was nothing. I mean, I know some people don't show a lot of emotion and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Cam tried to get him killed twice yesterday though.
Yeah, he did line him up pretty good. Hospital ball.
He tried to Terrence Marshall him for real.
All right, so we got any other anybody else want to jump in and say something?
I think I said it earlier, but the one out I can see for Rhule is if he fires Brady. Like that might buy him one more year. The rest of this season is sad, man, because you look at the schedule prior to the season starting, it was the roster combined. When you look at the schedule, you're like, yo, we could be X, Y, Z. We can win these games, and then for all the talent that's on the team, they clearly can overcome and complement coach. Like I'm fairly certain that like Deontay Brown should have been getting some play time. Christensen should have been starting at left tackle, if not backing up F line. He should have been like right behind F line. So if inevitably when he went down, throw Christensen out there and see what he got.
But Justin, right there, you just said that the only chance Matt Rhule has is if they get rid of Joe Brady. Joe Brady didn't set up the offensive line. Joe Brady's not the one that's saying Brady Christian can't play left tackle. His arms are too short. Joe Brady's not the one that's saying Deontay Brown can't play left guard because his weight. Hey, he was a big boy at Alabama and he was moving people. So I don't want to hear this crap about, oh, it's his weight that's causing him to not be able to play. Man,
even on that, I gotta
turn on the damn film. Turn on the damn film and watch John Miller and watch what Deontay Brown was doing. The film tells a story. Exactly. That's why I don't want everybody talking about, well, we should have drafted Rashawn Slater. No, we shouldn't have, because Rashawn Slater will be sitting on the bench right now, or they have him playing right guard because they say, oh, his arms are too short. He can't play left tackle.
Exactly.
No matter who the hell we drafted, as long as Matt Rhule is doing what he's doing, it doesn't matter.
That is exactly what I said earlier today. I said that it doesn't matter. We can cry about offensive line. We can sit up here and say, I posted it earlier. I posted the tweet that's pretty much going viral about the offensive line grades, the worst offensive line grades in the history I've ever seen. I've never seen offensive line grades that bad.
I've never seen a 0,
18,
man.
20, awful. But we can sit up here and say, hey, Matt Rhule, go draft Evan Neal. He'll fuck around and stick him at right tackle and put Moulton at left tackle. He'll do something that's not putting Evan Neal in the best position to succeed.
He'll put Evan Neal at center.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that I trust especially just specifically when it comes to offensive linemen. I don't know that I trust, and this dude has an offensive line back. That's what makes it frustrating. He was an offensive line coach at some point in the NFL, assistant. So I don't understand why is it so difficult to put dudes in the right place to succeed. It's not rocket science, bro. Put Brady Christensen at left tackle and let him figure it out. He had the highest grade we've seen at left tackle in a long time against who was it against? Was it the football team that he started?
Yeah,
fam.
I don't think Matt Rhule.
It was Arizona. I think it was Arizona. But you have to let these dudes play. You ain't. What's the alternative? The alternative, it can't be worse.
I promise you, Matt Rhule is still in a we need to win now type situation. He's not even throwing that out.
But bro, I hear you. But what you throwing out there every week is not working.
Exactly. Matt Rhule is he's just trying to get an excuse for next year to be like, well, let's try this next year so I can come back. At this point, we really just need to fire Matt Rhule, let Joe Brady stay, and bring in Eric Bieniemy and see what happens. Because if Joe Brady calls a BS play, Eric Bieniemy be like, nah, we ain't doing that. We about to do this. So
if Matt Rhule's gone, Brady's gone.
Hey, it's a that's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation. It is a win-win situation.
I never thought I'd see today where I say I miss Byron Bell at left tackle.
Michael Orr.
No, right.
But at the end of the day, this is why we messed up. We messed like Jay Simp said earlier. We messed up at the beginning when you hire a college coach that does not have a specialty. He can't. When shit gets ugly, the head coach got to come in and be like, all right, the head coach is taking over play calling. If Joe Brady sucks, all right, Matt Rhule, I'm an offensive dude. I'm taking over play calling. We don't have that. We don't have that right now. We have a guy that just is a leader of men. He's a good people motivator. He's just a dude.
Exactly. That's a coach. Like Ron Rivera had a defensive background. I remember when Ron Rivera took over defense calling.
That leads me to the question: how, I guess, what's the share of power, if there is any? Because if I'm a coordinator, when I get into coaching, I'm shooting to be on the defensive side of things because I pay way more attention to defense than I do offense. But if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm watching my defense, I'm watching the DBs, I'm watching the linebackers, I'm looking at the D linemen, and I'm like, yo, this guy needs to be a starter. And the head coach comes up to me like, no, you're going to start this guy. Like if Brady is looking at the offense and he's like, I want Christensen at left tackle and Rhule's telling him no. Like I want to know if that's what's happening. Is Brady like, yeah, let's get this guy out there, and Rhule's like, nah, he's not ready. Or is it just some shit where Rhule's like, this is what you're gonna do, and Brady's just head down, yes sir, no sir, and
that's possibly true.
I still think that Brady wasn't hired by Rhule. Brady was hired by Tep. And so everybody keeps saying if you get rid of Brady, it's good, but that ain't gonna happen. The only hope you have, and it's probably the same thing with Rhule as well, is that these guys get head coaching jobs in college spots. So maybe one of them takes the OU job, one of them takes the Notre Dame job. Maybe they both take a job. One goes to Oklahoma, one goes to Notre Dame. No, it's right in the world. But I think that might be the only way at this point, because I don't know I think there might be a power struggle about if they wanted to get if Rhule wants to get Brady out of there, Tepper probably ain't gonna allow it. That's just my opinion on it.
Well, do you think Rhule is afraid of having a black coach? Like, is he afraid against getting the enemy down here in the South? Like, is that part of it?
You mean Tepper?
I mean Tepper, yeah.
Here's my thing, man, and then you talked about it last night too. But here's my thing, man. It ain't just a Tepper thing about having a black coach. I think having coaches of color has been an issue across the board when it comes to the NFL. For one reason or another, I don't want to just single out Tepper because there's a lot of these damn franchises that are interested in hiring a black coach. But I will say this: Tepper was part of that minority ownership that wanted Mike Tomlin out after a playoff loss. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of sprinkle the tea leaves there a little bit if you like, but it's an NFL problem, man. And the thing that bothers me more about that is that I don't understand why you're going to have a situation where you limit the pool of good candidates. Like when you decide that you don't want to hire a person of color at a head coaching position, you're literally just limiting the pool of candidates, of good candidates that you can get. So I never could understand that notion.
The way the Cardinals did Steve Wilkes, we should have done Matt Rhule, honestly. The only reason why Matt Rhule is here second year is because he had that large deal and Christian was hurt.
Man, this shit don't count towards the cap.
Yeah, it don't.
Exactly.
But the other problem too is that Steve Wilkes had a pretty bad year, man. I think he went like 2-14 or 1-15 or something like that. Like it was a bad year for Steve Wilkes. Now, no, everybody deserves to have more than 1 year to get this thing right. But
I know Matt Patricia got 2 years. I mean, Detroit. I mean, it wasn't much better.
Well, I mean, a lot of coaches, but then you got somebody like a Cam Cameron that only got 1 year. There's some coaches that only get 1 year, but I mean, you got to give at least 2 to 3.
Didn't Nick Saban get 1 year in Miami?
No, Nick Saban left.
He left. He said, "F this."
Well, Matt
Rhule said, "F this, I'm out."
Matt Rhule will be great in Oklahoma. He can play Baylor all he wants.
He can go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, he can go to Notre Dame for all I care. I don't give a crap.
He got the Catholic religions like that.
So what we aren't talking about is the alternative, right? Because I think Jay Simp brought up a great point, and it's the alternative, right? What happens is if we keep Matt Rhule, this coaching staff comes back, the entire coaching staff comes back for year 3. And we are in a situation, let's say they go out, they fix the offensive line, they get some more pieces, they re-sign a bunch of guys, they run it back and try to get make a run for the play. I think year 3 you have to make the playoffs. I think we said that wasn't the goal this year. That wasn't the goal this year was to get better, show improvement. But now we're talking about year 3. I think that is a playoff year. I think you have to make the playoffs, or with this roster too. It could be. So what happens if Matt Rhule comes back and all the coaching staff comes back?
If we bring everybody back, resign pretty much the major players, it's definitely Super Bowl or bust for next year. Honestly, like if you bring back Hassan, Dante, Stephon, like I mean, you hear everybody talking about year 3 is the year, you know what I'm saying? And Rashad touched on it earlier, you too, Dave, about year 3 in the college. Everybody said that's this, so it's tomorrow next year we bring everybody at Matt Rhule and everybody Super Bowl or bust, honestly.
I wouldn't even be sadly disappointed. And I'm sorry to say that you're gonna be sadly disappointed because you're gonna have all these great group of players to come in again next year. And you're going to deal with the same thing. Matt Rhule is going to be out-coached because he's not built for the NFL. He's just not. He will be out-coached and outmatched in every single game that he plays. Unless he's playing against a rookie head coach.
He still might get out-coached.
Exactly.
So, like, for me, as far as, like, going into next year, because none of us really have any control over what Tepper is going to decide. for the remainder of this season, I want to see good coaching. Like we lead the league in turnovers, like execution of plays and things of that nature. I want to see good play calling. I want to see adjustments. If I don't see that, forget year one. Forget like progression. Is what you want to see. I would sit here and say that they regress if this trend continues for the remaining 5 games of the season, 6, 5. I can't remember. If this trend continues, it shows regression. Year 3 won't mean crap because in year 1, this is your base. Year 2, you fell underneath it. What expectation should I have for you in year 3, other than to fall beneath what you did in year 2? For all the talent that's on this team, the talent on this team is not 5 and 7. The coaching is 5 and 7.
I feel like they already turned on Matt Rhule with all these penalties, man. Like he already lost the locker room, honestly.
Well, my question,
I don't think he lost the whole room. Like I talked about this earlier today. I don't.
He only got Sam.
Yo, don't do that.
Only Sam Darnold's listening to Matt Rhule at this point.
Don't do
coach,
that.
Come on, coach. All right, coach.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
That's funny. My biggest question as of right now is, how are the coaches going to win back the locker room? Because over the past couple of weeks, I've noticed that the players arguing on the sidelines, morale seems to be down. So the biggest question is, how can you get the players invested back into wanting to play up to their potential? How can they play disciplined football, and how can they play the way they did the first 3 weeks of the season?
Yeah, listen, I think it's cliche as hell, but at the end of the day, you got to win, bro. Winning cures everything, bro. But exactly. I just don't see going the way the schedule's set up, the teams that we're going against, the coaches that we're going up against. Maybe not the Falcons. I think the Falcons is a winnable game. I think that's a good start. But after that, you going up against coaches that's about that life. Like, it's some good coaches, some good teams. And I just don't know that. I don't know that Matt Rhule can it's coaching, bro. And I don't know that. I don't know that we can do it. I don't know that we can go out there and have this coaching staff, because it ain't worked for the past how many games we in now? 11, 12 games. It ain't worked. This is year 2. If they don't believe in it now, like, they're not just gonna flip a switch and just start believing, bro. Like, you have a trend, you have something to go from. It ain't working. And so I think you gotta win. The only thing that's gonna bring back, and I don't know the answers, like the intricacies. I don't know the locker room. I don't know how it's working. I can't tell you, they gotta put somebody at free safety, or they gotta put Christensen at left tackle, and all that's gonna work. They gotta coach it. You gotta put it's cliche as hell, but you gotta put guys in the best position to succeed, bro. Put guys in the right position. Put Brady at left tackle. Put Deontay Brown in at guard. Let these dudes play, man. Get these dudes a spark. You gotta do something different.
And it's about coaching. It's about coaching, because you look at the Washington football team. Ron Rivera about to mess around and have this team in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's about adjustments. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something right now. If Ron Rivera takes these boys to the playoffs after the slow start that he just had, we gotta fire him. He's gotta go. He's got to go. He gotta go. He's gotta go. Because you know what I'm saying? I said Ron was gonna take him to the playoffs last year. I thought they were gonna win the division. I was right. So he's gotta go, bro.
Yep.
Rivera's out here tap dancing on us now.
Yeah, Ron Rivera would thrive at this team, though.
I hear a lot about Matt Rhule, man, and he deserves a lot of the blame. But when do we? I mean, I joined late, so how much heat is Joe Brady taking? He is not creative at all. The offense is stagnant. He cannot score points. I know the offensive line has a lot to do with it, but we got to think about how fast we're getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand. It's no creativity. The quarterback is just running around looking for someone to be open. His offense sucks, if you ask me.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I feel like, okay, who does that fall on?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're right. If it falls on Matt Rhule, but what can he do? Is he just going to fire the offensive coordinator now?
You know what? They asked him today. They said, "Yo, fam, what you gonna do? Are you gonna make any adjustments?" He said, "Nah, I'm good. You know, I gave him some assignments." So at the end of the day, that's on Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule can say, "Yo, we're gonna give the play calling duties to Sean Ryan or somebody else." He can go out there and say that.
Look, man, when I'm looking at the game, man, it's crucial downs like 3rd and 2. When I see all these teams running all these like rub routes to get people open, we do nothing like this, man. I mean, this stuff is working in the NFL, man. Our average margin of separation from the defender to the receiver is probably last in the league because there's no creativity. Nobody's open.
Yeah.
The thing that tripped me out about that Dolphins game, and you guys feel free to correct me, but as I was watching, I noticed that as soon as the Dolphins got up by a few points, he started throwing. He started having more passing plays again. We were down by by 3 points, and the running game disappeared.
They panicked. They don't know how to come back. And I shout out to Chris from Charlotte Vibe. He asked that question, bro. Today at the press conference, he said, "Fam, you keep saying here every week that you want to run the football 30 times per game. First of all, you don't have the running back or the running backs on the roster to run the football 30 times. You have these scat joker backs.
Exactly.
They're not built to run the football 30 times a game. Exactly. So again, I said this 30 times that your philosophy and your personnel don't match. You don't have an offensive line. You don't have the dudes, the downhill blockers. You don't have that you don't have what you need to execute what you want to execute. And so I don't know what it is. I lost my train of thought, but I don't know exactly what we're gonna do to fix it. And I don't think it's gonna be fixed this year. Like again, I don't think Joe Brady. You could talk about Joe Brady. I think he's not doing well, but I think again, offensive line sucks. There's other things to take into account. It all goes back to Matt Rhule, bro. It all goes back.
The simple way to fix this: fire Matt Rhule.
Yeah, but I think he's in too deep, man. He's gonna give him another year. Matt Rhule is gonna get another year.
I think so too.
I mean, the only scenario I could see him getting walked out of here is if we lose out.
Right. Something crazy like that.
Oh, if we lose to Atlanta, it's very possible we're going to lose out. I hope you guys know this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is.
Nah. I feel like we'll beat Buccaneers one time just because.
Bullshit.
Because. Just like how we beat the Cardinals, we'll just win a game.
Brady has an itch that he's got to scratch too. He's never been Cam Newton. Nah, fam. No, sir.
Your phonetics getting hot right now too.
We losing out then. We losing out. It's a dub. We
for the sake of my fandom, I'm hoping like we crush the Falcons. We can steal the game, like get that win against the Bills and get the Saints and split with the Bucs. Like for the sake of me wanting to watch a game and we don't freaking suck and we win. But for the sake of the team's future, a part of me is like, just go ahead and let them lose the last 5 so Rhule can get them up out of here and we can get a coach that I think I was listening to you guys earlier and how you were saying that you wanted an offensive-minded head coach.
You have to.
It's like that shit just makes too much sense, bro. Like you have a steady presence on the offensive side, and all he need to do is just hire a really good defensive coordinator.
Bro, we said
but the thing is too. And when everybody says that, right? And I think we should go after offensive guy. Like we've only had one offensive-minded coach in our franchise's history, right? And that was George Seifert. So when you start thinking about like the options of what you could have when it comes to that, you could do the same thing. You hire a defensive coach. You just hire a damn good offensive coordinator.
No, you can't.
Tony Dungy did it.
Nope. Dave, that's 30 years ago. In today's NFL, the offensive guys are getting hired. They're going to get hired. This is why Joe Brady is going to get a job somewhere. I don't care what y'all say. He sucks. I get it. He's going to get a job somewhere, bro. because it's the young offensive mind that is the trend right now. That's why you need to secure an offensive minded head coach. We said that, and dog, me and Dave is just two dudes behind a computer, and we said this before we go back. I went back and watched it today. We had a whole breakdown of all the head coaching hires. We broke it down, advantages and disadvantages. We said Stefanski was the dude because you have your offensive guy. He's locked in. He ain't going nowhere. So you have an offensive guy. That's you. He's not going anywhere. You don't have to worry about when you draft a quarterback. You don't have to worry about having a quarterback have multiple offensive coordinators and it just shit keeps switching and switching. You don't have to worry about that. Defensive, ain't nobody checking for defensive coordinators unless you're really, really good. Unless your defense is like really good, ain't nobody checking for a defensive coordinator.
We should look at the last set of head coaching and what their backgrounds were, because I would love to see
Saleh was defensive.
Saleh was defensive.
Right.
You
look at the dudes that we just look at the coaches that just got hired.
Saleh was defensive. Joe Judge was special teams. Matt Rhule was defensive.
Rivera was defensive.
Mm-hmm. Mostly defensive guys that they hired.
But again, I don't think that's I don't think that's going to take you to the chip. It's about winning Super Bowls, not just doing what everybody else does for the sake of it.
Let's look at the next set. Let's look at the next set. Now, Arthur Smith is offensive. Urban Meyer, he's a college coach. I don't even know what his background is. Let's see. Mike McCarthy's offensive. Matt Rhule, whatever. Zach Taylor's offensive.
Tell me who the Super Bowl champs coaches was. What are they?
Bill Belichick is the
outside
guy.
of Bill. Outside of Bill.
He's always there.
He's the
what
GOAT,
is Bruce Arians? He's
Bruce
offensive, right?
He's offensive.
Right.
Arians is offensive. Andy Reid is offensive. Belichick is defensive. Tomlin was defensive. I'm just thinking about teams who won championships recently. Oh, Doug Peterson for the Eagles, he was offensive.
Right.
Talk to me nice, Dave. Keep talking. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Seattle, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was defensive.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Rhule's not even a defensive coach because
Matt Rhule ain't shit, bro.
Matt Rhule's a priest, man. He's a preacher. He's a preacher.
The only reason why I'm putting Matt Rhule as a defensive person because he played linebacker. That's the only reason why.
But he was an assistant offensive line coach with the Giants.
Would y'all take Joe Judge over Matt Rhule?
Hell no.
Hell no. Shouldn't be in the same discussion. That's part of the problem.
Bro,
okay, why are we bringing up Eric Bieniemy? What's the hold up on him? It's been about 5 years they keep saying he's going to get a look. He's going to get a look. And every year he gets passed up.
You
his skin is dark.
Why, man.
His skin is dark.
Man, come on, man. We got to get past
Matt
this.
Rhule, David Tepper was scared to do that. He's not real.
No, but the thing is, and I said it earlier, bro, it ain't just Tep. There's a lot of other damn teams. There's a lot of damn teams out there that should have picked this guy up. Like, for example, Baltimore should have picked this guy up.
Detroit.
Not Baltimore, Houston. Houston should have picked this guy up. Detroit should have picked this guy up. The Jets could have picked this guy up. So don't just put it on Tep. For some reason, nobody wants to hire this guy. And some people are using this excuse of, well, he didn't call plays. That wasn't an excuse for Nagy. That wasn't an excuse for Peterson. So,
man, he's been mentored on one of the most winningest coaches in the last 15 years. He's been mentored under Andy Reid. He should get a look, man. This is crazy.
He's getting looks, but getting a look and getting hired are two different things.
Yeah, getting a look
and getting hired are two different things. Man.
It's the same reason why Cam was in free agency and not picked up on the team for so long.
Exactly.
They don't fit what people ideal head coach should look like or should.
Well, let's keep it 100. They want to appeal to their white fan base. I mean, I hate to sound like that, but that's really what it is.
Most of them are PSL owners too, so that's a fact.
Yeah.
I just want.
The whole 2021 season is just the Giants, Vikings, and Eagles games. Those 3 games is just Panthers in a nutshell.
Yeah. All right.
So I missed it. Did we have any C-Mac discussion? What are we doing with C-Mac?
C-Mac is on IR. C-Mac is on IR. He's done for the season. He will be back as a Panther. He's not going anywhere. Contract won't allow it. We're not trading him. We're not cutting him. He's going to be back. We're going to be rehabbing. End of story. He's coming back. CJ,
is there any room to reconstruct? get some money out of him?
Fam, we just did that last year. It's nothing else you can do with Christian McCaffrey, bro. He is on this roster. We just reconfigured his deal, restructured his deal last year. We pushed more money into it. The more you restructure, the more you push that money.
Whoever's driving.
Oh, okay. Nope. All right, it's not. No, that wasn't CJ. I thought it was CJ, but it's not CJ. Somebody else. Can you mute your mic? Yeah. There we go. I don't know who it was. My bad. So, again, I'm gonna say this for the 1,000th time. Christian McCaffrey is not going anywhere. You're not gonna restructure his deal because we already kicked money into the future. We restructured his deal last year, so now that's why you can't cut him because all the dead money. Because of that restructure. All right. So he's not going anywhere. You're not going to cut him. You're not going to trade him because even if you trade him, you got to eat the dead money. No, and then nobody's going to take that contract. So you can't trade him. You can't cut him. He's just going to get healthy. He's going to rehab, and he's going to be back on the field being the face of the franchise. That's what Christian McCaffrey's going to do. Great player when available, but again, he's breaking down. His body's breaking down. And don't argue. There's no need to argue with me. I don't want nobody to argue with me. His body's breaking down, fam.
I agree. His usage rate is just too high.
It's too much muscle. Too much muscle.
It's usage, whatever you want to call it. It's his body's breaking down. This dude does like all this yoga, all this stuff, and it's not working. You see his all his off-season workouts, all that stuff he does. He's probably the most prepared dude in the league as far as taking care of his body. But his body is breaking down, bro. He had a lot of usage in college. He's had a lot of usage his first 4 years in the league. It's all catching up, bro. It just is what it is. It is what it is, bro. That's all I got to say about CMC. When he comes back, we can just pray that he stays healthy. But he's here. He's not going anywhere, bro. That's just it is what it is.
Real quick, Rashad. Speaking of running backs, do you think we bring back Royce Freeman?
No. I think we got Amir Abdullah. And we got
is it, man.
we got my man
Chuba.
Chuba. I wouldn't talk about Chuba, but on the practice squad, Bonifant. He's still on the practice squad too. You could put in to see him. I don't think we're gonna bring anybody else in at this point. It's pointless. Amir is the guy.
I wish we had a banger though.
That's what I'm saying. We need Royce.
We're not gonna get no banger, dog. CJ, you've been waiting for a minute. CJ, go ahead, get in here, dog. Pause.
Hey guys, what's going on? So the Bieniemy thing y'all were talking about earlier, I think they've given him the nod in Kansas City. Like they signed Patrick to a 10-year deal. Andy Reid isn't going to coach for 10 more years. I think he's gotten the nod. The same thing with Josh McDaniels in New England. Like that's why he stayed there for so long. I think they've given him the nod in New England. When Bill's done, you take over.
No, I don't agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. CJ. And this is why I don't agree with it. Because if they given those guys the nods, they wouldn't be out here going on these interviews. So I don't agree with that because Bieniemy was out here going on these interviews last year and the year before that. Yep. So I don't agree with that notion.
Well, that may not be. I mean, that may be just for experience too, right? I think that I don't know that just completely eliminates him from that theory. I think it's actually a decent
no. It's not.
theory.
It's a good theory. Like it's a good fallback. But I think Bieniemy wants to go to another team, and I think Josh McDaniels at some point wants to. I think it might have happened with McDaniels, but at the same time, you know, if folks ain't gonna make the decision to hire these guys, they're gonna fall into a pretty good situation. But sometimes that doesn't always work out. You remember what happened with the Colts when they left Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell, he got the job for a little bit. As soon as he had one bad year, they fired his ass, which I thought was bullshit.
And they fired him the year that Peyton Manning was hurt. So
like they fired him as soon as they got the opportunity to get him out of here. They got him out of here. Then he went to Detroit, took them boys to the playoffs, had all them winning seasons, and then they said, "Oh, this isn't acceptable," and they haven't sniffed 9 wins since. You know what I'm saying? That's another guy that deserves a head coaching job. They ain't getting one. And then we talk about Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis is out here. Dude had like 5 or 6 consecutive winning seasons, made the playoffs like 6 straight years. He ain't got a damn job. Like, yo, I don't understand. Once again, I don't understand how you limit your damn pool of good coaching.
I'm with Rashad, man. I think they want the young coach. They want the young offensive mind. They want that's what they want.
That's the trend. But I think it just stands for offensive minds. I think Bieniemy is more than capable. He should have had a shot. I'm with Dave. It's just not happening for reasons we all know.
Who do
Go ahead,
y'all want
CJ.
to?
What was you gonna say?
No, I agree, and I watch the games like you guys do every snap. I don't feel like there's any blame ever gets put on the wide receiver group, and I feel like we have some of the laziest route runners at wide receiver. And it might be the play calling; they may be frustrated. But I mean, we watched the first 3 offensive plays of the game. DJ Moore had 2 drops. We get back, we get out of our own end zone. The block punt, if it gets blocked, it's not a touchdown. But I feel like the wide receiver group gets no blame, no criticism anyway. And you guys may do it, I may not hear it, but
Dave definitely does it. Dave has been criticizing DJ Moore for the past 2 years, bro.
Thanks,
I personally don't. No, I personally don't. I
don't criticize him. I just show you I just get you the numbers, and then you guys attack me because I'm giving you the numbers. The dude drops a lot of passes, and I've said this for a while. I like DJ as a person. I met the guy, cool dude, but he hasn't been executing, man. That's just And then when he has great days, and everybody comes at me, and I'm like, all right, when you get like 15 targets, you better have a good day. I mean,
I think that wide receivers it definitely comes. They definitely have drops. But I'm not gonna kill them. And I didn't even jump on Robbie because I know what Robbie's capable of, right? I know what DJ is capable of, and they absolutely deserve criticism in isolation, right? For sure, those 2 drops that DJ had, you can absolutely criticize him. I 100% agree with it. But when I look at it as a whole, I think they're both great. DJ and Robbie are great players, and in the long run, the good will outweigh the bad.
I will say this, bro. You know, one thing that they mentioned at the town hall last night that was kind of crazy that everybody was on the same accord about is the fact that
and that's
they don't think they have a number. They don't think
a
lot of folks don't think we have one wide receiver.
DJ Moore didn't come out as a crisp route runner. He came out as a baller, a player that once he gets the ball, he can make things happen. He was never a crisp route runner. He's had time to work on it, and maybe he should have got better with it. But we just need to get the ball in his hand, and of course he needs to catch it. But we don't really have any route technicians on our team.
No, we
other than C-Mac.
That's the sign of a true number one is even if he ain't getting his targets, even if he ain't got at the end of the game, he ain't got the numbers and shit. He'll find other ways to impact the game. Like, yeah, I'm gonna run this route. I know the ball ain't coming to me, but I'm gonna run this route so damn hard that I'm gonna open somebody else up.
That's
true.
Right.
I'm a huge DJ fan, but it's been, I don't want to say like I'm up there or something, but it's been brought to my attention. I'll go back and look at some of this shit and it's like, bro, what the hell? Like that shot Robbie took in the Falcons game. He was not running that route as hard as he could. If he'd have ran it as hard as he could, Robbie would have caught that window field and that would have been a touchdown.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, these guys need to watch Stephon Diggs and Adams. They need to watch these guys run routes. They run routes.
They need Steve Smith to
they need Steve Smith to coach them up.
Yeah, that'll help.
They need to like hire Steve Smith in some form to just talk to the wide receivers before the game and have him on the sideline, so you know that you at the very least you got an alpha presence at the wide receiver. I don't know what the hell be going on with that.
Yeah, I think with the wide receivers, man, you're right. We don't have a route running technician out there, and I think that is a potential issue, right? It's something that you're right, CJ. We have not discussed, and you know, I always talk about this, especially when I evaluate the draft prospects. I always say it's two ways to get open: route running and pure speed, right? And we don't have, and I say this, I've been saying this on the offensive side, we don't have the guys to operate what we are trying to operate. We just don't. You don't have those guys that can win in short area. You don't have those guys that can win off a slant and catch the ball. Like, again, we just said earlier, we don't have the running back that can bruise 30 times a game. The guys we have are deep threats. And we don't throw the ball deep. Like, we have complete opposite guys of what we're trying to operate. It's just weird to me, man. It's just weird, bro. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just frustrating, bro. I'm with
Well,
y'all.
we know we don't have the most accurate quarterback of all time, so he needs separation. So we need these receivers to create some separation so Cam can throw in some clean windows.
But it's deeper than just routes too, because it's scheme, right?
We know exactly. That's why I talked about Joe Brady.
All the defenses know that we ain't running shit deep. They just gonna sit there and squat at the line at the first down line or 5-6 yards deep because they know the ball ain't going no further than that. So when you have that, it makes it difficult. Your offense is predictable. You can't just go out there and we're not dictating anything. We're letting defenses are dictating to us. They're making us do what they want them to do, or they want us to do. We're not going out there and game planning and dictate. And when we do, and it works great. Like when we're able to run the football against Atlanta, we're able to run the football against Arizona. It works great. But when it doesn't, we're screwed.
By the way, random off topic. If the Washington football team wins tonight against Seattle, they'll jump all the way up to the 7th seed in the NFC conference standings, which is wild. Because they're 5-2.
Hey, Dave, go over their schedule, Dave. Go over their schedule. Let's see what they're going to do the rest of the way, Dave.
Hey, I enjoyed it, fellas. I love what y'all do.
Appreciate it, man. They have the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, and the Giants.
They got tough matchups. Yeah,
dog, they got five divisional games left.
Just
and it looks like they're gonna flex. They're gonna flex. It looking like they might flex that Eagles game too in Week 15. But they got Raiders they've got Raiders next week, and after they play the Raiders, their last 5 games are.
What about home and away? That matters a little bit.
All right, it does. So they're at the Raiders, home against Dallas,
3-3,
at Philadelphia, at Dallas, home to Philadelphia, at the Giants. So they only got one out of the last
2 home games.
2 home games out of their last 6 games.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's right. 2 home games out of the last.
What we talking playoffs?
Look, we're talking about a team that might make it.
Hey, before I get off, man, can we move on to one more subject? Where do we go from quarterback from this point on into next year? I know you guys scout some of the college players. I mean, I haven't heard of any quarterback coming out that's gonna, shake the earth. So, I mean, where do we go from with a QB position?
Bro, I got it's so complicated. There's no easy answer to this. Yeah. I think that it's tough. I don't think we're gonna draft a quarterback. I really don't. I don't think we're gonna draft a quarterback. And I honestly, I'm not sure that I would. None of these. Let me say this: there is going to be a couple of successful quarterbacks in this draft class because they might not get drafted as high, and some of them are gonna fall into good situations. Like Carson Strong is a good quarterback. Matt Corral, I like Matt Corral a lot. Malik Willis, obviously, he's a guy that's got that Lamar Jackson in him. But there's this quarterback class. I mean, you look at Spencer Rattler, right? This guy went from top quarterback prospect to now entering the transfer portal. Like this quarterback class ain't it. Like there's no top dog. So I'm not sure that I'm on board with even taking a quarterback this year. In my opinion, you got Sam Darnold. He's going to be on the roster. PJ Walker, good chance he's going to be on the roster due to nephewtism, as Pat Coltrane says. And then I think that I think Cam is going to come back. I think he's going to get another shot. And I think as long as he is not the reason why we're losing the rest of these games, I think he'll get another shot to come back and for another year.
Well, it sounds like an open competition to me then for training camp.
It is absolutely that's exactly right. That's going to be it, an open competition between Cam Newton and Sam Darnold, and we know how that's going to go. So
by the way, guys,
that's how I think it's going to go.
We've been talking about coaching salaries and things of that sort. Do you know how much Matt Rhule makes and where he ranks when it comes to how much we pay him per year?
He's third, right? He's
5th. There's 4 coaches that make more than him.
What does he make?
He makes 8.5. He makes $8.5 million a year. He makes the same amount as Sean McVay. You know who's 7th? Mike Tomlin. He makes $8 million. He makes more. So Matt Rhule makes more money than Mike Tomlin, and Andy Reid, and Bruce Arians, and Ron Rivera.
On the quarterback thing, do you think we take a swing at De'Aaron King like in third round if we get a third round?
No, not the third round. I was thinking we take a shot in the dark.
We don't have a third round pick. We don't have a third round pick.
If we get it though, like if we lose all games, finish top 7. We
still don't have a third round pick.
I know, but we can trade that first round pick and get a second.
No, they're going to get an offensive lineman if it's one out there.
I think
elite.
I think regardless of where we draft in the first round, where we end up in the draft in the first round, we're trading out of that pick, bro. Like it doesn't.
And what's the infatuation with King? He got benched in Miami.
Well, he's hurt now, but he played okay last year. But he's like a project. You feel me? Like Cam.
No, we don't.
No, we don't need no more projects, man.
No, yeah, we don't need. We got 3 of those.
Exactly. I'm good, and honestly, I don't know that I trust Matt Rhule picking up the next quarterback anyway. I think it's best that we go ahead and roll what we got. And if he's going to be the coach specifically, if Matt Rhule's going to be the guy, roll with what you got. Let him coach it out. Because again, there's no quarterback that's going to save us. And I think a lot of us got enamored by Cam coming back. There's no quarterback that's going to save us, bro. There is no.
You don't think? I mean, I don't know the situation with Deshaun Watson, but he wouldn't.
Any quarterback, bro. There's no quarterback that's going to save this franchise from where we are right now. No,
I agree with
that. Watson's got to want to come here. Like people keep forgetting that part.
No, I'm just saying. If he did, I think we would.
No.
He improves his team 4 wins this year if he was on our roster.
But it's more than just a quarterback. It's more than just a quarterback.
The line,
man. I mean, I don't. I'm telling y'all, man. Tepper is not gonna settle. Like if we lose out and these quarterbacks stink, all of them. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I don't think he's gonna settle.
The thing is, the salary cap is here. The salary cap is here, so you don't do what Tepper's doing right now. Out here trying to change these quarterbacks all the damn time. There's a level of commitment that's got to be had. He can't keep paying for all these damn quarterbacks.
See, this is the problem. Right. We keep getting enamored, and we keep saying, "Yo," because we thought y'all thought it was Cam too, not me. I said, "Yo, I'm not getting excited about. I don't expect Cam to come back and save us." That was my stance when Cam Newton got here. I
just felt like Cam was an upgrade for Sam, though.
Bro, and to what result?
He's 0-2 as a starter.
He just came too late.
I mean, he's been in the offense, 14 days? I mean,
bro. I'm just saying. We got bigger problems. Like we had bigger problems, bro. We have to stop looking at quarterbacks in isolation, expecting them to come and say that's not how the game works, bro. We have bigger issues. Coaching, offensive line. We've got problems that a quarterback is not alone is going to solve. You have to fix the coaching. You have to fix the offensive line. You have to adjust. We've had 3 quarterbacks come here. We've had the same result. We ranked 29th in second half scoring last year. Guess we ranked in second half scoring this year?
32, right?
29th. We have 0 improvement. There is no improvement. There's 3 quarterbacks.
Man, I don't think the coaching staff is going to change. That's me. I don't think the coaching staff is going to change. I mean, I just feel that way. They don't have to
necessarily change, but their ways need to change. They need to figure something out.
Yeah.
Even Rivera changed, guys. We didn't think he could. Even he changed. It's just a matter of whether or not you think Rhule's going to do it, but I'm at the point where I'm not a believer yet, man.
Cam was a publicity stunt at this point.
Oh man, don't put it like that.
Yeah, he was more. I think he was.
I mean, it was
really, bro. I mean, he was the best available free agent quarterback. I mean, he just happened to play for Carolina.
Look at where we was before we got him. Like it was really about where there's smoke, there was a fire. So it was. He's
been the best available quarterback since the beginning of the season, guys. Remember?
Yeah, but we didn't need one then because we was believing in Sam.
Yeah, we did.
We still needed Cam, honestly.
No, but we was believing in Sam.
Those first 3 games, Sam looked like an all-star those first 3 games.
Well, we played against 3 high school teams.
But he looked like an all-star. You can't discount that. He looked good those first 3 games.
Versus bad team.
But yeah, man.
You know, play who you play.
Hey, listen, we getting ready to shut this thing down. We've been riding for a long time. Pause. And so I think, listen, everybody, I'm gonna give everybody one last chance to get their final thought, and we're gonna get up out of here. Y'all can jump in.
Hey, man, all I want to say is they don't really care about us.
Not the Michael Jackson.
You know what I'm saying? So that goes to David Tepper, Federer, and all his crazy moves. Something has to be done, man. I can't. You know, this season I believe is lost, but we can't have 5 straight losing seasons, man. Ain't no way, man.
I wouldn't want. Yeah. I really feel like David Tepper. They be listening. They hear David Tepper's wife be out here, bro. Trust me. They be listening in. But then again, we're just going in the wrong direction. Like, we're trying to win, but then we're also trying to rebuild. You can't do both.
Well, the last thing I want to say, man, I know everybody needs to know, man, it's hard to win in the NFL. And I think that the quarterback is the hardest position in professional sports, period. Finding one is going to be difficult. They come a dime a dozen. However we do it, hey, man, just keep pounding.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say something before we close this thing out?
One more thing. Y'all think Cam going Hall of Fame?
Boy.
I want to say so, man, but yeah, I think so. I think he's done. I think he's done enough.
He's gonna have a lot of hurdles. I think he needs to get a media job.
But
he's gonna have to get a media job.
I feel like it's what's have you done for me recently, honestly. Like, I get tired of talking about.
The
records he broke as a running quarterback is gonna stand. I think he'll get in.
There's a lot of quarterback. There's a lot of running quarterbacks that aren't in the hall that could have a strong argument wilding out there. I can name a few. You ready?
Like Vic not even in, right?
Vic's not in, but Vic.
Well, you know, Vic got the dog thing here.
Vic doesn't have a Hall of Fame resume. You know who else is not in? Randall Cunningham's not in.
Roy Cunningham.
But he don't have his numbers.
Huh?
He don't have Cam numbers.
He don't. And does Cunningham have MVP?
No.
Nah. It's gonna be tough.
Levels, man. It's levels, man.
It's gonna be tough for Cam. It's gonna be tough, especially like if
you know who else? You know who else? I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I think Steve McNair probably should be in. I don't know what the hell's going on with my lighting. Steve McNair should definitely be in.
MVP? Does he have MVP?
He does have an MVP.
Does he have MVP?
He does have an MVP. He had a co-MVP with Peyton Manning, if I remember correctly.
2004, right? Or 2003?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. Can't remember what year it was, but he has a co-one. He had a co-MVP. So he does have an MVP.
I mean, Cam won't be first ballot. He won't be a first ballot.
No, he won't be first ballot.
2003.
It'll take a while. It'll take a while for Cam to get in, honestly.
I think he'll get in, though, eventually.
Yeah, just the combined numbers alone, just the rushing and passing touchdowns and how he affected the game as a power running quarterback. I think
changed the game, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He got to finish strong, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he does.
It's going to be hard to finish strong, though. With what?
It is. With these coaches, it's going to be tough. Yeah. But all right, let's shut this thing down, bro. We got to shut this thing down because your boy got stuff to do.
Yeah, I woke up.
I appreciate y'all for real.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for jumping on, man.
Just throwback, man. Appreciate you, Rashad, Dave. Let me in, man.
Appreciate y'all.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
But all right, so Dave, you got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Thank God for the bye week.
Yeah.
We needed it. This roller coaster ride of a season, man. We needed the bye week, to say the least.
And Dave, I don't know. Do you want to announce? Do you want to announce to the people our interview?
Yeah, why not? So,
you hung around this long, and the Patreon folks already know about this one. And I just got off the DMs with his people, and it looks like tomorrow we will be interviewing Miles Hartsfield. So we will be having Miles Hartsfield on the show tomorrow. It won't be live; it'll be recorded, and it will be for Patreon members only initially. And we may release it at some point after speaking with his people, because I think this one's about fan engagement. So I think we may end up releasing this one a bit earlier than we typically do. But we will be talking to Miles Hartsfield tomorrow. No hashtag, no credentials. We out here working, bro. We out here working. So, yeah, man. So, man, hit that like button, hit subscribe button for your boys. We're trying to get up to 15,000 subscribers, man. We doing work. We need all the support to show that we are a viable product. And you don't need credentials to make this thing happen, bro. We out here doing work. We built from the mud. We ain't do shit. We just a couple dudes behind a computer that talk football knowledgeably, and we out here. So, that being said, Dave, Miles Hartsfield tomorrow should be interesting. Got to get our research up. Already started. But
yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about, Dave?
Nah, I mean, that's it, man. We're good. This was a good show. You know what I'm saying? Over 2 hours. I'm gonna catch the fourth quarter, and that'll be that for me. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. He was sending me some he sent me some off limit stuff, which is cool. All right. So that being said, man, we up out of here. Like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. We out.
All right. Peace out, guys.